Raphael Varane's injury situation is under assessment, and it is highly likely he could be returning for the Liverpool game. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb, and here is a quick update on our injury situation as we do get into two big games, back-to-back games, one away to Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge, the other against Liverpool back home, hoping we will do what we did during the FA Cup. Well, let's get into it now. I'll start it off with Malacia, who is expected to be returning at the end of this month of April. My birth month is it's on, and Malacia is reportedly back training, and it is said that his mental health is beginning to be improved. Of course, there are recent reports that suggested that the reason his return has delayed was more because of mental health issues than physical issues. But indeed, the physical issues were the bigger issue. Of course, the mental health always, I mean, if you're out for a year also as a footballer, you're just new at a club and you're trying to establish yourself, obviously it's going to take its toll on your mental health. But he is said to be back in training, seems to be in the right mood to come out there and focus on his football and try to lift himself up. So Malacia is expected back to be playing on the 31st of on the 30th of this month of or rather on the 21st of this month of April. That's my birthday, by the way. On my birthday, he's expected to be returning. Has got major setbacks in his recovery, but they expect him to return on the 21st day of this month of April. So that's a bit of the situation, but he is in training, and that's, I think, a big positive for us to look at, because we do need a natural left back. We need every fit player we can get back into the team to try and get us back and our chase for probably a top four on and promising. Now, Anthony Martial as well is expected back. It was reported that he would not return until the end of the season, but after having a surgery that he had, a successful surgery that he had after a complaint in his groin, it is said that depending on how fast he responds, how his levels are, he will be back. Erik ten Hag recently confirmed it, but we know that for the longer good, Martial is planned to be leaving Man United after the summer. But if he returns like they saw on the 21st of April as well, just the same date as Malacia, it's good for him. Because then he will go into the summer at least with a few minutes of football in his legs, in case he impresses and is put back into the squad, because he's from an injury and you may not know how quick the recovery might be. But Erik ten Hag says it will then be up to him, because I think the critical stage after or post surgery is done, and it's now for him to get into the rehabilitation and perhaps try to quicken the return. Remember, if you look at our bench, even the last game against Brentford, if you look at our bench, the biggest absentees on the bench are strikers. There is no one to get the goals. So if Højlund is not getting them, we are going to struggle hoping for Marcus Rashford or Alejandro Garnacho to turn up, or Bruno Fernandes. So if Anthony Martial returns and gives us a few 3-4 games before the end of the season, I think for me, it's fair enough. We can look at it as a positive, because then Højlund will have someone to push him to try and hunt for the goals. Then Altel Bayindil is being assessed. 25% chance he could return for the Liverpool game as well. He's out injured because of a muscle strain. He's not okay. He has been out for a few games. So Tom Heaton has been our backup goalkeeper. So Altel Bayindil could be returning. Probably, you never know. Erik ten Hag might trust him and give him a few minutes if he returns in time to play against Coventry. Or even in the FA Cup, of course, especially. That's why we're expecting to get some playing time. So Bayindil progress is also good. 7th of April is the date that he's being looked at. Now, Raphael Varane, who is, I think, the main guy. I think, in all fairness, he had given us a few games without getting injured. I forget when he last was injured, but when he returned, he gave us a few games, and I like the fact that he held us on when Lisandro Martinez wasn't away, because imagine if we didn't have both of them like we didn't have both of them for some time before earlier in the season. It was terrible and risky. We're trading, I think, in risky spaces. But Lisandro Martinez is back, and he's expected to start for the Chelsea game. But Varane is not expected to be back for Chelsea. At least the assessment that is going on now, there is a 25% chance that he could be back for Liverpool on the 7th of April. Remember, he was pulled off at halftime during our struggle against Brentford as a precaution, because he complained, and you saw how he was trying to block a shot and he got injured. Now with Varane, you don't risk, you just pull him out. I think Erik ten Hag played it safe for the greater good, which I thought was a good thing to do. But he might not be back for the Chelsea game. So we could be banking on Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire, or Martinez and Victor Lindelof. But Lindelof too is not 100% fit. So that's where I move next. So Victor Lindelof too, there is no return date that has been set, but he could be returning for the Chelsea game. There's a 25% chance that he could be back for the Chelsea game on the 4th of April, on this Thursday. But again, that will take more confirmation from the manager. Probably by Wednesday, during the pre-match press conference, we will be able to get that. But at least we're not sure yet. Even Johnny Evans, our other defender, has also been not okay. He dropped out of the training at the last minute. That is just a few weeks ago. He was not okay. So his recovery is not at 100, but there's a 25% chance that Evans too could be back and join the team for the Chelsea game that will be at the Stamford Bridge on Thursday, the 4th of this month. So you see how we've got issues in our backline. We've got issues in our backline, in our defense. So that leaves us with the options I spoke about. For Chelsea, the guys we've got to look at are Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire as the starting centre-backs. If nothing changes, because we know that with United, things keep changing. Things keep changing. So between now and Thursday, you never know who else will get injured. So, but for now, that is the situation. It most likely won't change. Maybe a few who are not 100% confirmed will be back, will be coming in to join in the party. But that's a bit of where we are. But for me, for now, honestly, I don't care who is fit or who isn't. I think we should be able to go out there and push with every player we have and go for the win. And that takes me to what I think Erik ten Hag has got to be doing. We do know that Amad Diallo will be returning. He will be available for the Chelsea game. Play Amad Diallo. I'm expecting Amad Diallo to be getting playing time. And I'm going to perhaps tomorrow drop a video on Amad Diallo and where he is after that important goal that he scored for Man United against Liverpool. Where is he at now? Because before that, he was, I think, one of the most depressed players in English football, if not in global football. If we judge by his behavior on social media, I mean, the unsaid signs that he was showing us. So with Amad, I believe, I have a strong belief that Amad Diallo will play against Chelsea. I do hope that he starts. If there's one change I expect in that game, it is Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford not starting, and Mason Mount and Amad Diallo getting significant game time in that one. Those are the changes I'm hoping Erik ten Hag to make. I'm also expecting Garnacho to be given a bit of a rest. Of course, it's a big game, and it's a bit, it can sound far-fetched to say that we can rest Garnacho. But you see, at this point, I think Erik ten Hag has got to take decisions, has got to make certain unpopular decisions. And I don't think resting Alejandro Garnacho would be the most unpopular if you rested him and started Amad Diallo, who is on fire and motivated and psyched. So I expect changes. Erik ten Hag has been a one-trick pony, I think, more times than not when it comes to the players. And he has chosen to trust certain young players over others. I'm thinking it is looking ugly on him, and this is the only chance for him to redeem himself. So use the youngsters; they will change things for you. That's, for me, is what I expect Erik ten Hag to do. They talk of Erik ten Hag being on an ultimatum following that struggle against Brentford, and people are bringing back the performance we had against Fulham. Saying that the loss at Old Trafford, that now Ineos, the struggle against Brentford, sort of reminded Ineos of how poorly we performed against West Ham, and they are now considering giving him, showing him the exit and all. I think, guys, like I said earlier in my earlier video, I think that is propaganda that we cannot focus on now. I think we need to focus on the more important things, and the most important thing right now is United focusing on chasing and hunting a place among the top 4 and winning the FA Cup. So with the injuries we have, we cannot add on a mental injury to our boss, who is not probably very stable himself. I think we cannot afford. It would be so unfair. It would be us punishing ourselves if we started piling this mental pressure on Erik ten Hag now. I think it's the worst thing we would do. So in all fairness, I think we should be focused now on ensuring that this team is good and ready to go out there, perform and compete, and be able to finish at the highest we can. It's heavy if I even try to utter it now. It's very heavy for me to mention top 4. With how we performed against Brentford, with how the log is, I think it's heavy in my tongue. It doesn't sound right, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. Heavy does not mean impossible. It's doable. It can be done if we do the right things. Now, of the 3 games, from Brentford to the two next remaining games, the easier one would have been Brentford. We failed to beat them. For someone was saying we made Brentford look like Real Madrid or prime Barcelona. But what happened happened. We are lucky not to lose. It's a point. But the funny thing is United knows how to psych themselves up against big teams. You can't imagine it's possible that United can go on to win the two games, beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. Because what I know, Liverpool will not beat us at home. At least that's one thing I can assure you. Liverpool will not beat us at Old Trafford. They can psych themselves. They can feel so much, or they can be on top of the pile. They can be said to be favorites to win the Premier League now. Trust me, they will not beat us at Old Trafford, at least, and it won't matter who will be there. But Chelsea, how we handle Chelsea is going to be so important, have a big impact on how we perform against Liverpool. Anyway, that's it for now. My name is Webb. This is not a United jersey. It's a small club in the UK, in London, but yeah, we're not haters. These are players who have got an ambition to come and play for United. So don't hate on my attire just because it's not United attire, really. So be easy.